You are listening to the Masculine Mindset Show, a podcast for men to develop a backbone, a masculine purpose, if you will, and get more physically attractive, and even become more mentally healthy. All you men listening, I turn nice introverts into fit, self-entitled savages, if you will. And you might even become a little cocky as a result of your G status. More importantly, you guys, I also show you how to flirt and date more women and seal the deal. Just look at the show notes. They are all on my blog articles. What's up, guys? Before we get into the content, do me a favor. Leave me a 5-star review with words behind it, okay? This helps me rank up in the search rankings. And one more thing, you guys. I just put my show on iHeartRadio, also Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music, even CastBox as well, you guys. So follow me on these platforms. Okay, I'll say that again. iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and CastBox. All right, let's get into the content. What's up, guys? All right, before we get into the content, I want to let you all know that I am interviewing someone who is from the Wing Girl Method team. Now, you may know the most well-known dating coach out there on YouTube is Marni for the Wing Girl Method. And yes, you guys, I have been acquainted with her about 7 years ago. We crossed paths, and I want to let you all know that who you're about to hear talk on my show is someone who, quite frankly, is going to tell you why you must break the rules. Because, quite frankly, I think that this podcast is what all nice guys need to hear, and why you have to break out of your shell and understand that this world is like your oyster. And I just want you to listen to this episode and really take into consideration what she's saying. All right, let's start. Masculine Mindset Show. It's Adam Skoda, and today I have a very special guest on, you guys. Her name is Elisabeth. She's actually from the Wing Girl Method team, okay? I know her through Marni, and by the way, you guys, I'm going to say this really quick. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag now. I do basically sell the F formula on my website, so you can get that through me as well. And also, I wanted to mention that today is about breaking the rules, okay? Why you must be a rule breaker. Okay? And the reason I love this topic so much is because this is what really just got me out of my shell. Like, I was like, this world is fucking abundant. And not only is it abundant, you can just do whatever the fuck you want and no one fucking cares. Right? And I want to talk about why be a rule breaker. But first, I want to introduce Elisabeth to my audience. So.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much, Adam, for having me on your podcast. This is super exciting. Yeah, I am one of Marni's wing girls. I interact with the guys in the Facebook group. I have a lot of private clients, and also I teach Zoom coaching sessions with other wing girls where we break into room, and some I teach on my own. So I'm very passionate about helping people becoming the best version of themselves, but also, actually, this is related to the topic also, just go their own way, find their own voice, right? And not thinking that you have to approach women a certain way or do things a certain way. I find it so interesting when you say that, Adam, because I really work a lot on this myself also, on how to reprogram your thinking. We're a product of things that we've been served in our lives, right? How your parents raised you, your culture, your neighborhood, your friends, your peers, you become a product of those things. Whereas somebody in another part of the world might be having a different outlook on things, So these things can change. And once you open your mind and you have the guts to go your own way and find your own voice, miracles happen. I truly believe it.
Yes, it's so true. So I'm going to talk about why break the rules, okay? So here's my biggest thing right here. I talk about this on my blog all the time, Elisabeth. This is my favorite part right here. Okay, why be a rule breaker? Because it shows you follow your own lead. You don't care to live up to anyone's expectations. And also, it shows you are in your own little world. And the next part here that I have written down is it shows you live in the cause, not the effect. Okay? So the cause, right? I talk about this on my podcast episode called Alpha Male Strategies to Control Your Dark Side with James. But really, the cause is you are just causing things to happen around your environment. And people just are kind of like thinking, what's this guy doing? He's doing burpees in public. For example, I actually did burpees at a cowboy bar years ago. This is a true story. I had this chick film me. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do burpees, so I want you to film me. And she said, can you do that? I'm like, come on, just do it. And then she filmed me doing burpees, and I did 10 burpees in a cowboy bar. So, yeah. If there's any,
I love that. Adam, I did something similar also. I used to go on auditions a lot, being an actor. And I had a lot of performance anxiety, a lot of anxiety just walking into the room. But I always was into fitness, and I used to do yoga a lot. I still do yoga a lot. But I would do a headstand in the bathroom before going into the audition. And my yoga instructor said, who cares? Who cares? You're going to have to worry about yourself. You want to have the best performance, right? So you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, the last reason I think is such a powerful way to be a rule breaker, well, the reason I think is such a good thing to be a rule breaker is because it demonstrates you are socially fearless. You are socially fearless. Because, so guys, so many people are in their own little worlds and they don't even know what's going on in their own environment because they're in their own head. They're in their own way. And it's like, if you can just do something out of the norm, it's like, oh, this guy's weird, but okay, who cares? Because he's literally just walking by you, and even if you lay down in the street, for example, I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, but that's just an example. If you just lay down in Target or like lay down in Starbucks or at the airport, no one fucking cares. No one. It's amazing that you realize this when it's actually happening too, because I've done this myself. I've laid down in Starbucks. I've also done push-ups in Starbucks. People are around, but they don't care. They just don't. So yeah.
And I think that's so cool, and that's also very relatable to dating and all of that stuff. When you don't care, people respect you. I mean, as long as you don't hurt anybody or break any laws, of course. But if you just go your own way and do things your own way, people really respect you. Like, wow, the innovator is like, I mean, that's how, why we have inventions, why we have the artists, the rebels in society, like, well, how new things happen. Some people just, stir the pot and decide to do things their own way. So whatever works for you. And the more you can free yourself and free your own voice. And I love what you said, Adam, that you just didn't care, right? You just lay down, you become so strong within yourself, and it's really attractive, but also it's good for you. And also I read something really funny, which I really believe. I believe that people who break the rules feel smarter and they get into a better mood. And I believe that. Don't you think so too, Adam?
Yep. Yep. I will listen to my own podcasts. I had this really groovy type of dance track. It's like an EDM track. And sometimes I will do this. Elisabeth, is I will listen to one of my podcasts, and I will hear that dance music come on, and then I'll just start dancing in front of people. And I just like, I don't fucking care. You can look at me however you want to look at me. I'm just gonna dance. So
and you have that sense of freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you're free, that's the most incredible feeling.
Exactly. And when people break out of their shell, I think that's the most powerful thing when it comes to dating and social dynamics. What I've been teaching myself is I've been pushing my limits, right? I always try to push the limit on my podcast action. I have so many episodes where I push the envelope and I train myself, okay, lower the bar, Adam, because no one really fucking cares. And if anyone has heard my podcast, 10x Your Masculinity, they already know I can be a bit extreme. But why am I that extreme? I'm that way because I am, my message on that podcast is for guys to stop these people pleasing behaviors. But either way, the whole point to being more polarizing or lowering the bar is that the more you do that, the more you train your mind to basically think, wow, everyone is in their own worlds. I'm in my own world. I can live however the fuck I want to live. So
Exactly. And yeah, and I think I'm so glad you mentioned it because it's all overlaps, right? The more free you are, the less you will please others because you realize people are in their own bubble. And when you try to please other people less, your value goes up because it's like if I'm gonna, if I run after something and I want that so badly, no matter how I'm being treated, then it's not that attractive. But if I offer myself, but otherwise, hey, no worries, I'm gonna go and do a burpee, right, or do a headstand, or do my own thing, or sing a song. Then people are like, wait a minute, she doesn't need me. She just flows over to she flies over to the next flower. She doesn't care.
yep,
It's something very attractive about it. And also, when you are so free and you don't care, then you take a bigger chance and a bigger risk in approaching or communicating with somebody also. Now you're free, right? So you're like, you know what, you become more animated. Your tonality is different because you're not in your head about how it's supposed to come out.
exactly. That reminds me, the other day, Elisabeth, I was talking to my friend at the gym. His name is Jared, and there's this chick that Jared likes at the front desk. I'm gonna leave her nameless because I have talked to her on my I basically talked about her on my show before, but that's a side tangent. The whole point is that Jared has a thing for her, and she was there at the gym, right? And he was talking to her, and I just yelled, "Yo, Jared, see you later, pimp!" And I yelled it in front of everyone, in front of everyone. So much social discomfort, but I didn't fucking care. But that's what that's what's so profound about being socially fearless, you guys, is this is why breaking the rules is so fucking powerful. When you do that shit, it's like, wow, this guy just went there and he didn't care and he holds his frame. And more importantly, like that's why I love breaking the rules so much. It just shows that you're in your own little world, as I always keep coming back to, and it's just so powerful. If there's any stories
And
that
I,
you have.
yeah, and also I find very interesting because I have training in theater, right? And even in really good top New York City theater schools where I studied, they teach you to go your own way, to think differently. Artists are when the more unique an artist is, the more he expresses himself unusual. Well, there's always going to be a chance somebody's not going to like you, but most likely some people are going to be like, wow, you know? So when you look at all these amazing actors and painters off and whatever, yeah, of course they have a lot of natural talent and all that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that they were bald enough to just say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to take a chance. Oh, I might flop, but I'm just going to go for it. And those things go for, most areas. If you see people that started new companies, new inventions, right? They have a creative way of thinking out of the box. And if you apply that to dating also, it's good. And like you said, Adam, you asked me if I had any examples. I have a million examples because I always live my life kind of, on my
On
own
the edge,
terms or
right?
whatever.
Yeah, on the edge. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
But one of the major things I did, and that changed my life. So I grew up in Norway in Europe, right? And I wanted to study back then I wanted to study at a fashion college in New York, because I was really young, of course. But anyways, that school was not accepted by the Loan Foundation. I traveled back and forth and negotiated with a college, 20 years old, why I should be approved as a Norwegian, because then I would open the door for other Norwegians. Then I went to the Loan Foundation in Norway, and back then we didn't communicate on emails. So I literally barged into the office and laid out the paperwork, and they're like, you got to go back to New York and have them sign. And then I did that. And anyways, now that school became approved, right? And I never necessarily used it for something. People are like, you're a little crazy, right? You're just doing things just the way you want. I'm like, yeah, because I want to live in New York and I have to study. And same thing, I always follow my intuition very much, you know? And when you end up doing things, and also for work, you know, like I would work holidays. Other people are doing the traditional holiday thing. I'm like, hey, I'll take a holiday anytime. You know, that's just my attitude. So, and same thing for dating, you know, you can meet somebody anywhere. That's the thing. A lot of people think you can only meet somebody on either dating side or through friends. No, you can meet somebody absolutely everywhere, but you want to make sure that the way you approach the woman, you know, is appropriate to the scenario. I met one guy in a funeral, and we didn't necessarily become a couple, but we hung out for a while.
Love it. Love it. So, guys, circling back to the real topic. Well, all right. So, being a rule breaker. I love that story, by the way. I wrote an article on my website called 7 Reasons Why Assholes Get Girls But Can't Keep Them. And there's a very clear reason that they can't keep them. But I think that there's a very clear reason that assholes do get girls here that I really want to make out to basically point out to my listeners. That is, they are bold, they follow their own lead, and they are socially fearless. They are bold, they follow their own lead, and they are socially fearless. Okay, and this is why, guys, right here, when you are a rule breaker, you are in essence like you are kind of behaving like an asshole a little bit. But either way, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to discourage you on this, because I think you got to break the rules, because if you don't, you're not showing like who you really are. Like, there's this one saying that I heard from someone, I can't remember who it was, but it's just light yourself on fire and let the world watch you burn. Light yourself on fire and let the world watch you.
I love that.
Yeah. And so I think it was RSD Tyler. Yeah, Real Social Dynamics. But the whole point is that you really just want everyone to see your own showmanship. If that makes sense. Like you come from theater, right?
Yeah.
And so really in the real world, when you're socially fearless, it basically communicates to everyone you are congruent in your own skin. You know who you are. You don't give a fuck, and that's it. Like, it's just, I just want to encourage all my listeners to just become more socially fearless.
And I think also another reason why artists do it a lot of artists are, one way of creating is to be very intuitive. And the more you really go inward also and analyze yourself and know yourself and also find a little peace of mind, the more you access that intuition, you know? I want to tell you another funny thing I did, Adam, which was very unconventional. People are still like, what? When everybody got their stimulus check after COVID, right? I decided I'm going to transport reptiles from Downey downtown and do a photo shoot naked with boots. So I did a photo shoot with pythons around me and also not everybody's into this, of course, scorpions. And I don't know if I'll ever do it again. But in that moment, I was like, I want to do something so unconventional, you know, because we all been sitting on our ass inside for, you know, a long time during COVID, and I was going crazy. And I was like, you know what? Let me do this photo shoot with like reptiles and stuff. So what I mean is that I just followed my intuition. I just started looking at pictures about it, and I just went about it. I didn't think that much. Of course, you have to also use your rational mind. But like Adam, you said earlier, a lot of very innovative, confident, bold people are a little rebellious. They're in their own bubble, and they just decide to go for it because the inner voice says yes. And this is very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean you're an asshole. It means just that you're a free spirit and you decide to try something new. Same thing with work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do what you love and try new things. Always expand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I did mention that some assholes do pull women, you guys, but what I mean by that is this. They just, basically, they're a rule breaker. Because when you break the rules, it's very rebellious, as Elisabeth was saying. So that asshole nature that some guys have, they naturally break the rules. They emulate danger. So that's what I meant by that. But yeah. So if there's anything else that you want to say on breaking the rules, if you have any more stories, let me know, because I think I gave my listeners a lot of reasons why they got to break the rules. So yeah, let me know.
Yeah, no, totally. And speaking about the danger part, I just want to say that when I coach at Marni, I always make sure that even the nice guy, even the fun guy, has a little bit of element of the danger, and you can turn that on. You can turn your sex appeal on in different ways, because you get that edge. So you can be the nice guy with an edge also. You don't have to be an asshole, but this is what women find attractive. Adam, I love this episode. I think this is great, and I also encourage all you guys to listen to take a chance and break some rules.
Yeah, yeah. Just go into the kitchen, you guys, at a restaurant. I used to work in a kitchen. Just walk in and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up?" And even just do whatever the fuck you want, because that's really the one thing. I had another episode on my podcast library called 10 Reasons Why Women Are Attracted to Polarizing Assholes. And in that episode, I said assholes go for what they want. They just go for what they want, and they don't even second guess themselves. And a lot of nice men,
Adam,
yeah.
yeah, I want to say one thing about that too. I always say that in to my guys too. Why do narcissistic men get all these women, right? It's not because anybody wants to be with a narcissist, but it's because they go for what they want. They don't even question it. There is no question in their mind.
Exactly, exactly. I love it. I think that's a great place to wrap on this podcast. We touched upon so many reasons why you have to be a rule breaker, and really, you guys just go for whatever the fuck you want and don't second guess yourself, because when you don't second guess yourself, that is the most attractive thing ever. And I think Elisabeth can attest to that. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Adam.
no worries. I look forward to doing more future podcasts with you.
Totally. And I look forward to reading your books.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening to this interview, you guys. Click the link in the description below to sign up to work with Marni and the Wing Girls. These Wing Girls are here to help you guys, alright? They got your back, and I do too. And I want you to look at the show notes. And lastly, one more thing I want to mention before I forget. That is, you guys, just 2 episodes away, I have a big announcement on my podcast. Very, 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 very big announcement. That is going to be releasing my new book, and I want you to really tune in the following week. That is on Thursday. And by the way, the next one coming on Monday, this next one, you guys, is very naughty. So stay tuned.